What's up, YouTube? My name's David.
I think that's a deep one. Is it yours? Is it yours?
And today I am ending my summer-long hiatus from YouTube. I am happy to be back. I have seen endless comments from you all on all of my videos saying, where is David? Is he sick? Did something bad happen? Is he giving up on YouTube? No, I have just been busy traveling, visiting friends, and spending an enormous amount of time finishing some antique motorcycle restoration projects like that one. And this one, which I shipped halfway across the world to Australia in a box, and it got there safely, thankfully. I have been finding some more pieces for other projects like what's on my shelf behind me, along with some other things on my work shelves as well. So I've had a very busy and productive and enjoyable summer. But the entire time I have been seeing comment after comment from all of you, and it really means a lot to me to see that you're all still interested in what I've made and you want to see me make some more things. Specifically, you want to see me react to Stitch's GBB 2021 wildcard routine. Now, when I originally filmed the intro for this video, it was just going to be for a react analysis type video of this one routine. However, as I was making this video, I was like, okay, I need to rethink this entire video because I discovered something incredibly interesting about the technique that Stitch uses. However, my actual reaction that you're about to see is very genuine, and it is the first time I heard it and listened to it. So this will not just be your regular review react type video that you see a lot of on YouTube. This is going to be a deep dive on the technique, the special polyphonic technique that Stitch is using in this video. So let's jump back to a few hours ago before I even heard this video, and I will play that recording for you now. All right, so let's check out Stitch GBB. Should just be able to pull it up like this. Yes. So I think this is really telling of how good this video probably is. You know, you look at all the main React channels, you have Sin, you have Maddox, you have, I mean, Shazam is probably coupled in. Yeah, he's right there. And then you have this video, it's a compilation video of different people reacting to Stitch's routine. So I think that's probably pretty telling about how good this is. So I'm kind of excited to hear it. Of course, you have all the clickbaity stuff that is not telling at all, which I do myself shamelessly because it works. So yeah, as you can see, I have not even touched this video yet. No little red bar there. We're gonna jump right in, see what's up. But first, an ad from Squarespace.
Yo, what's up, Beatbox family? My name is Stitch, representing Malaysia, and this is my solo wildcard for the GBB 2021.
It's from Malaysia. Interesting. I don't know if I know anyone else from Malaysia.
Some days feel like misery. Some days it feels so pointless.
He's got a good voice.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay, there we go.
Like
oh man.
it ain't for me. Some days feel like
He made a song out of this.
nothing.
I'm really happy about that. Oh man.
Feels like nothing. Feels like nothing. Feels like nothing. Feels like nothing.
It's got two different polyphonic techniques going on.
Feels like nothing.
Wow. To be honest, I'm not really sure what's going on right now.
Nothing.
Wow. Okay. I cannot say enough good things about Stitch's routine. It is well put together. It is very thoughtful. It is a cohesive song. And he smeared in some incredible polyphonic techniques that just blow your mind, because you're hearing this almost effortless attempt at this guy singing chords, literally chords, while beatboxing and doing other fundamentals like lip rolls and things, while sustaining a melody while singing these chords. It's a lot, okay? Usually polyphonic things are very constricted, and it's hard to vary the pitch and create a melody out of it. At the beginning of this routine, he kind of set the scene with this melody for this song, and then he adapted his polyphonic technique to it and utilized this technique while singing the melody. And it sounded in tune, which is like, is really nuts. That was really, really impressive. I can see if it were just a regular like beatboxing video on YouTube that maybe he might have, like used some effects or something like that on Logic, or layered his vocals somehow. But now keep in mind, this is a GBB wildcard routine, and the rules are quite specific and strict, and there are audio engineers and people that do a lot of audio editing that are listening to this, judging it, and listening for altercations and reading the audio files and things like that to make sure people aren't cheating and doing things they're not supposed to. As per the rules, I haven't read them in a while, but I did read them, and your video has to be one take, and there can be no effects really other than just like noise reduction, EQ, and a little bit of reverb, I think. So as far as like utilizing chorus and like a flanger or something like that, I mean, he's not allowed to do that, and obviously he was accepted, so I'm pretty sure that's just a mastery of a technique, if you will. So I have a theory about which technique he might have been using. I believe this technique is the one that I've been trying to do for a long time, but I can't do it. Let's listen to that again real quick.
Feels like nothing. Feels like nothing.
Man, that is nuts. It's the Layla Hathaway technique, I'm pretty sure, because it's the only polyphonic technique that I know of that's exhaled that doesn't sound ridiculous. An even more obscure category of vocals than I have kind of like become kind of the center of with subharmonics, this polyphonic stuff. A lot of it doesn't really have like a specific name, although there are a few different techniques. There are some exhaled ones, one specific that I'm thinking of that Layla Hathaway uses that I think he is using here, but I would love to hear your opinions on this as well. And I'll play some other ones that I've heard some beatboxers using that are more inhaled, I believe. And they're less versatile than this one. Take note of that.
Break it down.
So of course there are other people online trying to learn specifically the polyphonic technique, and obviously this technique has an incredible potential as he is singing the melody, varying the pitch accurately while using this polyphonic technique, which is very rare. I haven't really heard anyone do it to this extent before. Now after watching this hilarious video that Sin and Shazam put out trying to learn this technique,
You don't got it. Man, so difficult.
Oh yeah, baby.
Why is it so hard? Comes out easier. I think that's your fake.
No.
No? Make it again. No, do it again. Yeah. I think that's a deep one. Is it yours?
I got quite inspired to try it myself. I sought out the tutorial that they reacted to, this one by Stitch. He does as good of a job as he can explaining how to do the technique.
Yo, what's up, everybody? My name is Stitch. Yeah, let's get it.
Super easy to do. Step 1, you want to sing in your falsetto voice. Super easy to do. For step 2, you want to layer that falsetto note with a whisper. You know, whisper like, hey, yo, what's up? Yo, what's up? Yo, what's up? Super easy to do.
It does seem quite simple. I'm going to use it analogously to subharmonics that I've learned really well over the years, where there's a very fine line between, doing something completely wrong with the wrong position in your throat, with the wrong tension, and getting it exactly right. And I have a feeling after a lot of practice, I'll be able to get this too, because right now it sounds something like this for me. I think I'm close, but it's just not quite there. So I think I'm going to practice with it quite a bit and I'll get it down. So it's been a couple days since I filmed the video and I decided to give this polyphonic technique another crack and try it again. And I actually got it. Check this out. Yeah! What's funny to me is I predicted exactly how this would go when I said this. There's a very fine line between, doing something completely wrong with the wrong position in your throat, with the wrong tension, and getting it exactly right. There is a super fine line between getting the feeling that, it's hard to describe, but getting the feeling for that muscle placement just right and getting it completely wrong and setting yourself down the wrong track when trying to practice it. What also helped me a ton was watching Shazam and Sin try to do this technique. Sin got it right away. He found the feeling right away. I have a feeling he's already practiced this before. Shazam did it exactly the same way I tried to do it.
I think that's a deep one. Is it yours?
What we were doing innately, I think, was trying to force the polyphonic out by pushing with extra muscles that you don't need to push with. And we're actually doing a vocalized chest bass at the same time as our falsetto, which is wrong. That's something else entirely. Believe it or not, I think this is actually subharmonics in falsetto. I have two possible options of what's going on, but that is my primary one, and here's why. Okay, sing something in subharmonics. If you don't know what that is, refer to one of my previous videos. So you can flip between chest voice and subharmonics pretty easily once you get into it. But even for somebody well-seasoned like me, trying to sing subharmonics in falsetto is, it doesn't work very well, okay? It's really, really hard. But when I first cracked into this polyphonic register, it felt like how subharmonics feel in chest voice, but in falsetto. There's this underlying bleat pattern that appears out of nowhere and you have to let it sustain itself. At the same time, if it were subharmonics in falsetto, it would kind of explain why there is a set of harmonics going on when you activate the technique successfully. At the same time, my soft palate and uvula area are pretty sore from like 5 to 10 attempts at this technique alone, which also makes me think that this might be a combination of falsetto with irregular vocal folds and just some harmonic oscillations using your soft palate uvula area like people do with Starsky bass. Either way, this is super cool, super interesting for a music nerd, a vocal nerd like me, somebody who loves learning new techniques. So yeah, I hate to do this, I'm totally sorry, bro, but go to Sin and Shazam's video, watch it. If you were doing it like Shazam is doing it, you're doing it wrong, and try again with less force. That's all I can give you on that. So anyways, back to the video. But one very important thing to realize about pretty much any polyphonic technique or any technique where you're singing more than one note at the same time, you're not just throwing notes out there, okay? You're not activating this thing in your throat and your throat is picking random notes. That's not what happens, okay? These notes are almost always part of a set or a series. And they generally make sense because the different parts of your throat that make noise, your regular vocal folds, your false folds, vestibular folds, same thing, and also your soft palate or your uvula area as used on the Starsky bass, all kind of like to work together. Now, why does that matter with this technique? He's whispering and singing in falsetto, right? Well, that is how he is activating the technique, but what he is actually doing, I think, is a lot more surprising. If you take a close listen to the notes that are actually being created while Stitch is singing, you'll notice something very interesting. The interval is always exactly the same.
Who are you? Who are you?
So I took Stitch's updated tutorial video on his techniques, since the moments of polyphony in that video are quite a bit more isolated than his actual routine. Listening to his over and over, it has this strange quality to it, this almost robotic timbre to the chord. There are a couple of reasons why. The first one has to do with the instrument being utilized, the human voice. The human voice is a chromatically fluid instrument. We aren't bound to set intervals like on a piano. We can vary the pitch in infinitely small increments. The other reason that his polyphonic chord sounds strange has to do with the notes that are actually being sung. And to find out exactly which notes he's singing in this chord, I dug a little bit deeper into this super high-tech software that is at my fingertips, Logic Pro X. I cut out a little section of polyphony where he sustained a pitch for a moment, and I looped it infinitely so that I could hear the tone just continuously. Then I opened up the equalization function. Within this function, you can watch the frequencies go up and down. You can also actively monitor and watch peaks of frequencies that are being played on the track. One trick that is used while mixing and mastering is grabbing one of the nodes, bringing it all the way to the max volume for any frequency and sweeping it across the board to see where certain pitches stick out. However, I used it to find where the peaks are for this chord that's being sung. So I did the sweep and I noticed right away that there are definitely 4 distinct peaks going on here. One at around G sharp 2, one at G sharp 3, one at D sharp 4, and one at G sharp 5. Sounds like an open 5th chord, pretty simple, right? So why does it sound so weird? Well, after looking a little bit closer at the very top peak, there's actually 2 peaks right next to each other that you can hear pretty distinctly when you are, picking out each one. One is at G sharp 4 and the other is at A sharp 4. It's the 2 in the series above the tonic. So we have a 1, 1, 5, 1, 2 chord going on. Combine this with the fact that the voice is a chromatically fluid instrument, and this perfectly explains why it sounds like a robot is singing. He's singing the melody using the fundamental pitch, the G sharp 4. But while he is singing the melody, this interval set is following his fundamental around. Normally, when you would create a harmony based off of a melody in a song, your interval set, the distance between pitches might vary and fluctuate a bit to fit what sounds right, or just fit the key in general. So if you have this fixed interval set that is following the fundamental around as the fundamental sings the melody, you're going to get some notes that sound a bit out of place and strange. But since they're sustaining the original chord, they sound correct at the same time, like you are continuously modulating. Combine this with the fact that he is sliding around a bit in a chromatic manner, and voila, you have a robot, basically.
Oh, yeah, let's get it.
The last part of this is the how. We know how subharmonics work, we know how throat bass works, but this technique is very interesting. I know how one of these pitches is being created. The lowest pitch in here, the G sharp 2, is definitely a subharmonic. It is a result of 2 of the other pitches clashing perfectly together. And as a matter of fact, it is the direct result of the G sharp 3 and the D sharp 4 colliding perfectly in a perfect 5th. The only other pitch that I'm pretty sure I know exactly where it comes from is the G sharp 4. I believe that is the one that he starts out with as his actual original fundamental, which he's singing the melody based off of. That's the one that's in falsetto. As far as the other pitches, especially the A sharp, it's a guess, honestly. So if any of you vocal nerds out there that have much more knowledge than me on the subject, have an idea as to how these notes are appearing, possibly something with the soft palate or uvula as used in the Starsky bass, maybe, then give me a shout, comment, or send me a message on Instagram, and maybe we can figure this one out. Again, massive shout out to Stitch for this fantastic routine. It's super well put together and just a beautiful song, and I love the remix of it as well. Very excited to see what you do at GBB in Poland this fall. I'm actually thinking about going to that. I'm really bad at planning trips, so I'm kind of a last minute planner when it comes to things usually, so I might not be there, but if you do see me there, don't be entirely surprised. I know I don't really post on Instagram much, or I haven't in couple of years really, but I will again soon, I promise. I do post on my story pretty much every day to try to keep up with things in general. But yeah, go follow me on there. I really appreciate the long time support that you all have given me and the continued comments and everything, asking where I am, how I'm doing, things like that. So thank you all so much for sticking with me. I'm so excited to be back and making videos again. And as always, thanks for watching, and until next time.